When Boone County meets Elder. And once again, we have on the left, Tom Brenneman, on the right, Lonesome George Vogel.
We don't mess around. Hey!
Guess what, Tommy? I'm back for another season of head-to-head, and since I kicked your behind last year, I think I'm going to do it again this year. And these guys from Boone County are going to make sure I get off to a good start.
Yeah!
Tom, Boone County has an offensive line that is second to none. They're also sporting these new helmet logos that are oh so bad. I know the Rebels are coming off a tough loss to Covcat, but they're ready to get it going against Elder and show how rough and tough Kentucky football is.
Oh, it's a real big game. We're like representing the whole Northern Kentucky region in this game.
They've got a great winning tradition, and there's going to be millions of fans over there. You know how they pack that place. They go wild and everything.
And Tom, I can't get over these new helmet logos. I mean, I look at this and I think of Jack Tatum. All those bad boys. Just slipping one of these on makes you feel mean. Can you believe this character? And on top of that, he's picking you guys to lose.
Does this guy sweat like this all the time?
The Panthers are the defending Cincinnati City champs. This year's club is led by All-State defensive lineman Mark Bonhouse and running back Joe Hubert. A state title is in Elder's plans this season, and an opening game win is the first step.
We feel very strongly that Cincinnati is one of the top places in the country for high school football. We might not have the most blue-chip players, but we think as teams collectively that we represent Cincinnati very well.
Oh, George, I forgot to mention one more thing. This game is at the Elder Pit, where the Panthers are indestructible. For George Vogel, I'm Tom Brenneman, News 5 Sports.
Hey, George, pit's off.
Say, don't mess around. I mean, at Elder, man, when it comes.
Then we start there again this year. Where this year at Elder, the number one takes on a whole new meaning.
The number one represents Elder in a couple of other ways. Senior center Ted Reneker is ranked number one in his class academically, as is junior safety Mark Berkowitz.
A lot of people have to work really hard, and I work as hard as others, but it just seems like when I work, I retain things more, and I just hold the information better.
The two also hold their own on the football field. The Panthers rolled in the season opener against Boone County last week, 36-0. This pair, though, says they have followed in the footsteps of a great senior class from a year ago.
They were really good models for us. They did real well in school and real well on the field. So the tradition really helps you in trying to live up to the goals that they set and to attain the things that they did.
Both of these young men have bright futures. Mark has an extra year to think about it. For Ted,
I probably want to lead somewhat of a life that my dad leads, be upper middle class, raise a nice family, basically have a good home life, and have a job where I feel comfortable in and where I like doing my work, where it's not a hassle to get up and go to work every day.
Guys, I think we're with you all the way. For Chris Collinsworth, I'm Tom Brenneman, News 5 Sports.
Over at the U.S. Open today, no major upsets. A couple of lieutenants got knocked off, though. And
Surprise to people in the city, because he wasn't featured last year because we had Pendergast and Meyer and Klum.
a lot of it was Grippa. This man gave these kids something to believe in. He made a believer out of us. Tom Grippa was our Channel 5 Coach of the Year.
We had a lot of our fans and a lot of people didn't believe that Elder football could ever be good again. And Coach came in and gave us the confidence that we were good and that we could do it again if we worked hard at it. And that's what we needed.
Now a lot of last year's stars have moved on, but they leave behind a team that is aching to get at Aliquippa. That's Elder's draw this Saturday night. See, it's tradition. Aliquippa's got tradition. They got Tony Dorsett and Mike Ditkin in their background. Hey, but these guys got tradition too, right?
Yeah, that's right.
These guys won the GCL last year, didn't you?
That's right.
Beat Moeller last year, didn't you?
Twice.
Here, go on in. And Aliquippa may be tough as the times in that mill town, but then they haven't seen the dogs, the new name for the hard-hitting Elder defense. These dogs hunt, they catch, and they bark. Give me a little more of that. A little more. How much barking the dogs do has a lot to do with how well the Panthers play, but as always, that's only part of the big picture.
Even when we play a rival, there's no reason why you can't help him pone up off the field. They help him up, say, nice tackle, nice run.
Now that's the Elder way.
We're going to look at the film.
And now meet the guy who picked Elder last year. Chris
Collinsworth, how did you ever come upon Elder to win the GCL?
Well, the guru, the Swami, times at night. But I'm a big fan of the pit. You know, I go down there and we've seen them practice down there, and there's that certain enthusiasm in the pit down there. And I knew that at least half the games last year, they were going to be awfully strong.
You're talking about an ambiance that you could pick up just from being around the west side of town.
Exactly, and there was a lot of excitement out there, and I felt it. They're going to be a good football team again this year. I don't know if I'm going to pick them to win it all, though.
Can we have a team to watch for?
Again from the Swami.
Well, the vibes, they are coming. Moeller. I don't know why. I'm going back to position.
Moeller.
I feel like Moeller may be the team.
You heard about the mighty men of Mo right here.
And we're going
to hear about them next. Straight ahead.
He's coached 2 straight state titles. Around here, they still have to play.
They sure do.
Now, the other game tonight, Aliquippa and Elder. It is a matchup of 2 teams that love to hit. And for that story, let's go to our Tom Brenneman.
The grand finale matched Pennsylvania powerhouse Aliquippa against Cincinnati's defending champion Elder. The Panthers head coach Tom Grippa had a strange feeling in his stomach even before kickoff.
Aliquippa and North Hills were about even teams in a scrimmage that they had in the first scrimmage, and North Hills handled Fairfield pretty easily, so I was really worried, you know, because I know Fairfield's got a great team, so I'm real happy to get out here with a win.
Grippa's fears, though, were quickly put to rest when his team marched 80 yards in the first quarter, capped off by a Rob Paff to Kevin Martin touchdown. The Quips didn't quit. After tying things at 7, Tim Patillo slipped out of the backfield and got behind the Elder defense for a 52-yard touchdown and a 6-point advantage. The play of the game, however, came late in the second quarter, and it came from the Elder defense. Kevin Espledge picked off this pass to set up the go-ahead score.
It really helped, though, when we went up on them, and I think they had to play out of character when they had to play from behind and pass.
The rest of the game, well, can simply be described in 2 words. Joe Huber, the senior tailback, was nothing shy of awesome. 26 rushes, 132 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I mean, the man owned the game.
First half was a little slow. I started out dancing too much. And then second half, the offensive line was opening up some great holes. I just tried to run hard. The offensive line, I really appreciate Coach Grippa's confidence in me. Gave me a lot of carries. That's all I could ask for.
Well, maybe Joe could ask for one more thing, another city championship.
You know, think about the experience with these kids from Pennsylvania. Some of these kids from Aliquippa, they have been out 250 miles away from home playing football.
Oh, I tell you what, the atmosphere is just anticipation. I like that word.
Right.
Because it's Friday night football. That's right. This week has just flown by, literally and figuratively speaking. And look out, here we are again. It's Friday night football, high school style. And we here have caught that football bug, that Friday football fever, if you will. And who better to put it in perspective than our own Bill Hammer, who previews for us one of tonight's big games, the Withrow Tigers, who host the Elder Panthers.
Well, the rains came this week, and the Withrow Tigers took things inside. And this game tonight for both teams is the rebound game. You see, Withrow took their first loss of the year last week against Dayton Dunbar. And Elder, it took them 2 overtimes before they could stop Western Hills. And you know the Panthers want to show they're for real tonight.
It's really big to us because we have to prove to people that we are better than we played in our last game, and that we are a team that can go upstate.
Meantime, at Withrow, the strength comes in their quarterback. Number 5 is Doc Gamble. He could be the finest quarterback in the city, and the Panthers will be keying on him tonight.
With Doc Gamble quarterback, and, you know, he's one of the best in the city. It's going to take a great effort on our part to stop him.
And the Tigers have this way of showing the opponent they are for real. This is the cheer each week to get this team ready to go for their opponent. Listen to this.
We've always done that every Thursday just to let the players know how serious we are about the game and look into their eyes and find out how serious they are about the football game.
Well, both teams are ranked 3rd in town, but tonight the Panthers will have their work cut out for them. Withrow is waiting for this game all year long.
Oh, we're going to destroy Elder, no doubt. You know, we just got to play a real strong defensive game, and offense going to do the rest of the work.
You know, I think their program's as good as ours, and ours is as good as theirs, and I think it's going to be a classic matchup, and we're all excited about it.
as well they should be. Hey, here's some of our best bets as developed by the sports complex. Posting a perfect 10-0 record. The Harbin rating system said their schedule wasn't strong enough. Not anymore. Tonight, their long-awaited showdown with the Elder Panthers to kick off a furious night of Friday football fever.
How about this? We had to short-circuit Bill Hammer's trips around the tri-state because they're bringing the game ball in here to the Withrow Elder game. There's Bill in the cockpit. The captains are going to accept the game ball on behalf of the Withrow Tigers, and I think we're going to have one heck of a football game here tonight.
Look at Bill. After doing the honors at midfield with the captains, Bill, the intrepid one, wished them good luck, headed back to the copter, and was off on other stops on this Friday night. Hope he enjoyed the trip, literally. Shortly, the clatter of the rotor was replaced by the clamor of a big crowd at Withrow, and I'll tell you what, these folks have a lot to cheer about. For one, Darnell Smith, who rips off a nice gain here to spark their opening drive. This just moments into the game. This will eventually set up a 3rd and 6 situation down at the Elder goal line. And Ryan Reynolds, a 5'10", 180-pound junior, will bull into the end zone for the touchdown. And just like that, the Withrow Tigers of Dale Mueller are on top. Tigers go for the 2-point conversion. Quarterback Charles Doc Gamble strolls in, raises his arms in celebration. Watch this, a flag. He's been penalized for taunting. It's a new rule this year, 15 yards, no conversion. Mueller is steamed, especially after their second attempt from the 20 failed at 6-0. Then Elder went to work. Mark Tiernan on the draw play. Great fake by Rob Paff, but Mike Williams stayed on the action. And Tiernan is off to the races down inside the 5-yard line before he's manhandled. 3 stabs by Elder and nothing doing. Elder opted for a Dan McCluskey 23-yard field goal. It is 6-3, Withrow still on top. Now, Elder has gone on top 12-6. They're forced to punt here. Danny Combs will block the punt. Ryan Reynolds will recover for the touchdown. They make the point after touchdown. It's 13-12 Withrow, only to have number 24, Randy Ruan, on the ensuing kickoff ramble 65 yards. Can you get this? He would have gone all the way, just ran out of gas. This sets up Elder's winning field goal from McCluskey, 23 yards. Elder holds on for the 15-13 win. Let's go to the scoreboard. New Miami shuts out Laughlin 35-0. Taft 14. Second effort.
The Heil Game of the Week, sponsored by Heil Heating and Cooling, for the second week in a row involved the Elder Panthers. Number 3, Elder, at number 8, Withrow. Rob Paff goes down the middle for big yardage to Kevin Martin. Dan McCluskey comes in to boot a 32-yarder, and we're all knotted up in the third quarter at 6 apiece. Paff wasn't through, though. In the fourth quarter, he goes launching one into the corner of the end zone. Martin Tiernan for a 13-yard score. Tiernan stayed in bounds. Finus Johnson says, Withrow shows the fake punt. They snap it to Ryan Reynolds, number 16. Now catch this, Debbie Thomas rendition. Oops, that'll cost me from the Russian judge. He reverses the other side, slides back. Oops, that'll cost me some points. Comes from the near side, makes the jump, and the first down. Jeff Weber doesn't like the skating exploits at all. He throws Reynolds out of bounds. Everton Thomas comes in to kick the PAT after a block punt that Ryan Reynolds runs in from the 11 yards, and it's 13-12 Withrow. Tigers kick to Elder. Here, number 24, Randy Ruan, takes it into the middle of the field, breaks a tackle, and he's off for an apparent touchdown, but he blows a gasket, and Finus Johnson stops him at the Tiger 15-yard line. Tom Grippa then calls on Dan McCluskey one more time, and Dan drills the 23-yarder with only a minute and a half remaining. Elder fans celebrate again as the Panthers go to 4-0. Withrow 2-2. Elder 15-13 over Withrow.
High achievers. Excellence Award winner. Chris, being at the top of your class, what other activities are you involved in?
I'm heavily involved with co-captain of our golf team this year. We're 7-2 so far. I've been involved with that for 3 years. Come in the winter, I'll be on the varsity basketball team also, starting forward. I'm involved with student council, the executive board, and we have been involved with that, and National Honor Society and French Club and other activities like that.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thanks a lot.
Coming up this afternoon at 1:40 on WTSJ Radio AM 1050.
Effectively, though something's got to give come Friday when the two teams meet for what should be the GCL championship. In Division II, Franklin and Harrison are again on a crash course to reach the state semis. Harrison hasn't lost a regular season game in 2 years and is ranked 13th in the state, while Franklin is number 4. In Division III, Cape is the team to beat. Last week's 41-0 win over Indian Hill kept the Crusaders atop the Ohio poll at a perfect 6-0 on the year. Hamilton-Badin sits at number 6. Other teams in Ohio to keep an eye on are Marymount and Wyoming. The Warriors won last week's meeting, but both could be in line for a playoff berth come November. In the Bluegrass, the Highlands Bluebirds are soaring to their best season ever under second-year head coach Tom Duffy. His team beat Covington Catholic 4 weeks ago in a crucial regular season game. But look for the Colonels of Glenray to be around come playoff time. CovCath has won back-to-back state championships. Beechwood has been to the big dance more than any other team in Northern Kentucky and will surely be there again this year. The Tigers should challenge for yet another state final berth. In Hoosier country, East Central is loaded. Last week's romp of rival Lawrenceburg may rocket EC to the Sweet 16 of Indiana.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. That Moeller-Elder Rumble is going to be something tomorrow night at Nippert. And then the last game of the year, you have Moeller against Princeton at Riverfront.
You know, when we talk about the GCL, we're always talking about Moeller, we're talking about Elder. Right. A team on the rebound is LaSalle. I mean, last week they gave Elder a run for its money, and the man leading the charge is head coach Jim Louder. The big turnaround in this city this season is happening at LaSalle. The Lancers have won 5 of their first 6 games. Last year, they only won 3 games all season. The quick turnaround here at LaSalle is even more amazing when you consider the background of Coach Jim Louder. Before coming to LaSalle last season, he hadn't been in football on a full-time basis for the past 20 years. After a brief stint as an assistant at Xavier University, Jim Louder entered the business world and was a big success. Then, he realized something was missing.
About 3 years ago, I found myself waking up in the morning and not really being happy. A lot of material benefits from what I was doing, but it wasn't really making me happy.
So, after 20 years without full-time football, Louder pursued the LaSalle job and got it. And not only is he helping kids on the football field, his business background allows him to be a big help in the classroom as well.
Marketing yourself, now you go out, do the job, you do the job properly, correctly, courteous.
In fact, before each LaSalle practice, Louder puts his players through a 45-minute mandatory study period.
Division I football, professional football, it's big business. And they lose the perception what it's really all about. And you want to keep their focus on their education. And that's the thing we stress the most.
He also stresses the values of hard work, something the players have picked up on.
We have to do our best at every situation and every practice, and he won't accept anything else.
Football's not just physical, it's mental, physical, and spiritual. And if you get all 3 of those, then you'll be a good football team.
And now that LaSalle has the good football team part down, Louder hopes the rest of his lessons will take hold.
It sounds like an old cliche, but it's true. Taking those lessons learned out into the real world and applying them and using them. And hopefully making those kids better people so they can go out and make that world a better place.
A better world indeed, thanks to men like Jim Louder. So it looks like with the LaSalle on the rebound, the GCL is just going to be as tough as ever. And LaSalle looks so good, in fact, this year. They're already invited to the Buddy LaRosa Classic next September.
Congratulations to Coach Louder. We have a long way to go on the high school football report, and it's all coming up right around the corner. Stay with us.
It's clearance time at your Toyota dealer and everything goes. Every 89 must be sold to make room for the 1990s. With your Toyota dealer's biggest year-end selection ever, clearance savings are going through the roof. You could save up to $2,500 on Toyota's biggest incentive ever. Their special financing, low monthly payments, immediate delivery. Everything goes at your Toyota dealer's year-end clearance, so get going now.
If you shower with soap, this is what you're missing.
Zestfully clean.
Never before. Never with soap.
Zestfully clean. You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
Soap leaves a sticky film behind, but Zest rinses clean away. Zest deodorant lathers you clean, then rinses you cleaner. With Zest, you feel cleaner because you are cleaner.
Zestfully, zestfully, zestfully clean. You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
Save 50% on Samsonite Silhouette 4 luggage. Samsonite now 50% off at McAlpin's anniversary sale.
Name a popular car that has the same name of a popular night spot in Cincinnati.
Caddies.
Good answer. Name a local funny guy who also has his own TV show.
Bob Hope.
Try again.
Ray Combs.
Good answer. Now put them together and what do you have?
Caddy Combs Comedy Club, right next to Caddy's.
On Pete Rose Way. Cincinnati will never be the same. All About Caddy Combs comedians are headliners as seen on The Tonight Show, Letterman, and Arsenio Hall. No seconds ever at Caddy Combs. Call us at 721-3636 for details.
Come on to the best, only on NBC. NBC, NBC, miles above the rest, only on NBC, NBC. Come on to the best, only on NBC, NBC, where you want to be. Come on to the best, only on NBC.
Welcome back to the High School Football Report. Our old buddy Chris Collinsworth joins us, a part of Wednesday's Hero, and how ironic it is. We are saying hello to a young man we met a couple of years ago.
Really, we went out to the high school, and at that time, Jeff Hill was a starting quarterback on the varsity, and he was 14 years old.
Right.
Now, he's probably the best running back in the state.
In just 5 games this season, Mount Healthy's Jeff Hill has already rushed for more yards than most college or NFL backs collect in a season. 900 on the button. He's the most highly recruited back out of Cincinnati since Carlos Snow. But success isn't all it's cracked up to be.
A lot of people treat me as just Jeff Hill, and then a lot of people treat me as some superstar that's said to be great at everything, but I just try to act normal. I tend to not necessarily ignore, but be obligated.
Obligations come in 3 parts for this brilliant player: academics, football, and college. He can go just about anywhere he wants. Michigan, Purdue, and Pittsburgh are at the top of his list. But he's quickly realized that recruiting is a tricky game.
They all say, well, we're thinking about your education before your academics, which may be true, but and from some rumors I've heard from guys who've been through it already, it's not always that case. And I had one college tell me that if I didn't play another game this season, that they'd still give me a scholarship, which sort of surprised me.
The more publicity he's gotten, the more withdrawn he's gotten from that aspect, and he's more willing to divvy it out because of the realities that it couldn't be done without, you know, his fellow teammates, and he really realizes that.
Mr. Cooker and Mr. Belcher teach totally different.
In the classroom, Jeff is a National Honor Society student. He's accumulated better than a B average. School wasn't always that easy, however. Another well-known back helped spur a turnaround.
I looked at Carlos Snow, and I love the guy. He's nice, he's friendly, and I just heard rumors about some of the problems he was having with ACT scores and stuff like that, and schoolwork, and I was like, I don't want that.
Ever since, it's been hard work and big dividends for Jeff Hill on and off the gridiron. But you get the feeling the best is yet to come.
Well, Tommy, Jeff's got a lot of opportunities to go to a lot of different schools, and but I understand his brother Ed is a mountaineer down in West Virginia, but I don't think he wants to follow in his footsteps, wants to blaze his own trail a little bit. So I understand he's either going to stay somewhere here in the Midwest or maybe Duke.
Now, Jeff is a guy much like you were. Not that neither one of you worked hard, but blessed with a lot of God-given ability.
Yeah, but the guys I think that you really have to have the respect for, the guys that maybe don't have quite so much ability but rely on their heart.
Absolutely, and George Vogel found a young man who's not big in stature, but he has a whole lot of that.
You look down the offensive line of Loveland, and you might miss someone. You might miss David Beatty, all 5'4" of him. David only weighs about 130 pounds, but he pulls his weight on the Loveland line. However, there was a time had their doubts.
In all honesty, in my heart, I didn't believe that there was any way he would be a varsity football player for us at Loveland High School.
Oh, Dave's played all right and played well. But how did a guy this size end up on the offensive line?
When I started out, I was short and stocky, and I guess they just kind of threw me in the line, so I haven't changed since.
Yeah, but the guys he's had to block have changed a lot. It's not unusual for Dave to block a player that outweighs pounds. To give you an idea of the size differential Dave's up against, we've got Aaron Raby here. Now, he's about your average lineman in this league. You're what, 6'2", 230, something like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dave, come on in here, and we'll show you what Dave looks like against an average defensive lineman in this league. As you can see, he's up against some pretty tall odds.
He's an inspiration to me, and I think he's an inspiration to the kids to see, because he comes out and he practices hard every day, and he plays hard, and he doesn't look at his size as a detriment or a liability to him.
In fact, sometimes the Loveland senior looks at his size as an advantage.
Yeah, it really don't bother me no matter if they're bigger or smaller. Sometimes I even like to block the bigger guys better than the smaller guys, because it seems, I don't know, they're usually slower, and I can get underneath them and get lower on them and just kind of drive them out easier.
Dave's size has even gained him a bit of notoriety. A Cleveland newspaper did a feature story on Dave, calling him the smallest Division III lineman in the state of Ohio. Maybe smallest in stature, but certainly not smallest when it comes to desire.
I think there's probably been a lot of people like myself who told him at certain points in time that, hey, I don't really think you can do it, and I don't think you're going to be able to play varsity football. You're going to have the size or the strength to do it, and it's never bothered him. It didn't faze him when I talked to him. It obviously hasn't fazed him in the past, and that says something about his character.
And that keeps 5'4" David Beatty walking tall in a land of giants. You know, every time I see Loveland play, I just can't get over what David's doing. I mean, it's something special. Obviously, he's got a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of spirit.
Absolutely, to get out there at his size. But we see spirit, George, every Friday night. And not only do we see spirit in between the white lines, but also up in the seats. The sights and sounds of Friday night, high school football. In the Hoosier State, basketball has always reigned supreme. But don't tell the kids that at East Central. They have over 250 members in the band.
We have a great group of kids here. I just love the kids here. They're out to do things. You know, they're not reserved about it at all.
It's all about school spirit. Cheerleaders, band members, they put in practice time just like the players. Not only do they enjoy themselves, but they enjoy helping the team to win.
They're always getting psyched up by either decorating their houses or their mailbox, or else we make them baked goods and stuff like that.
1, 2, 3, 4!
In Ohio, football is king. If the band is off at competition, for instance, Wyoming High finds a compromise.
But perhaps spirit is best demonstrated in the GCL. And when you think about the purple and white, they're number one on the list. Push back, push back, way back. Push back, push back, way back. Push back, push back, way back.
Elder's home field, the Pit. It might be the most dominating experience in town for visiting teams.
Oh, the Pit, man. The Pit. I mean, people are, I think, actually afraid to go to the Pit. I mean, people are just going crazy. I mean, the players love it, the people love it. I mean, the atmosphere is just great.
In the end, all are great. The kids, the band members, the cheerleaders. School spirit is something all of us grew up with, and something some of us are growing up with.
It's clearance time at your Toyota dealer and everything goes. Every 89 must be sold to make room for the 1990s. With your Toyota dealer's biggest year-end selection ever, clearance savings are going through the roof. You could save up to $2,500 on Toyota's biggest incentive ever. Their special financing, low monthly payments, immediate delivery. Everything goes at your Toyota dealer's year-end clearance, so get going now.
With Big's True Minimum pricing, you never have to wait for a sale. I'll show you if you promise to resist thinking of these as sale prices. This week, Denny Moore beef stew in a 40-ounce can is just $2.49. And a 3-pack of Orville Redenbacher popcorn, natural or butter, is just $1.59. Remember, these aren't sale prices. Neither is Minute Maid orange juice for just $2.99.
True, that's a very low price, but you must resist thinking of it as a sale price. But don't resist buying it. Biggs.
Before you choose a body shop to paint your car, ask a few questions. Do they care about the environment as much as your car?
Hi, Mr. Pressman. The Taurus is all set.
Will the work be done at your convenience?
Okay, we'll see you at 1.
Are they preferred by corporations nationwide for dependability and service? And do they back their work
And any problem?
in writing?
Great, I will.
If you don't know, you better get Mako.
I'm Ray Combs, and I want you to know that Family Feud is coming to Cincinnati in October to look for families.
The Praxel family.
If you and your family want to try out for the feud, get your family together now.
I have my mom, Jerry.
Hi, Mom, Jerry.
Hi. My cousin, Harry.
Because next week, I'm going to give you a telephone number to call to make an appointment for a tryout. Say go, Gene.
Come on, Ethan, go!
So if you want to try out for Family Feud, tune in next